Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. If you've been following this journey, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Also, please click the like button to help grow this channel and get the word out on dividend growth investing. Getting paid just for owning stocks. This is what dividend growth investing is all about. This is my weekly buy video, and my current strategy is to deposit $100 of my own money per week and let the portfolio do the heavy lifting for me going forward. All dividends received will be reinvested back into that stock from which it was received. My goal is to put this money to work for me in the long term to build a growing and reliable income stream. I'm a long-term buy and hold investor who focuses primarily on individual blue chip stocks as well as ETFs and CEFs. What we are looking at right now is my Average Joe Dividends taxable brokerage account. This is with M1, and we'll take a look at the overall performance. You can see it's way up, and it's mostly because of the dividends you can see here. We'll look at the performance over the last year. It's up 8.71%. Year to date, 2.15%. But over the last quarter, we're down 3.87%. We'll look at the last month, 1.87%. The last week, looks like a little bit of a turnaround at 0.58% up. But we take a look at today and we're up 1%. So today's been a really good day for me. We're going to go ahead and jump into the activity log. We're going to see where my $100 deposit, what that did for me. And we can see there were 4 buys for $135.78. That $35.78 is a dividend snowball, and it is because of these stocks right here. I also had a $1 buy. If you saw in the last video, I had an extra $1, and we'll take a look and see where that went to. And I had the most votes for SCHD. And I'm going to click right now on the 4 buys. We can see the Leggett & Platt 1977. That was a dividend reinvestment back into Leggett & Platt. BST, the $100 was my $100 deposit, and the $259 was from Agree Realty. I decided to take Agree Realty out of my portfolio. I thought something like O was probably a stronger position, and so that $259 though, that went into BST. And then Medtronic, the $525, that's a dividend reinvestment. Same with O Realty, $817 back into there. We'll take a look at the BST, what it bought. It was 3.2 shares is what it bought. And what I'm going to show next is my Google Sheets spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below. This is where I track all the positions that are in my portfolio. Take a look at my holdings tab. Right now I have 65 positions. You can see SCHD is my largest position. You see BST is number 2 in there. But I'll walk you through this sheet right here. Instead of having to go into M1 for updates, or even look up and see what my estimated dividends will be, things like that, I created this sheet to track that. I think it's much better than a service, and I'm able to import data. What I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to show you how I import the data from those buys and put those into this sheet without typing the new number of shares and my new cost basis. I'll show you a quick way of just copying and pasting how it works. But what this sheet shows is just company ticker symbol, share price. It uses a simple Google Finance function to pull that. What's in cell B2 right next to it. And the number of shares, that is pulled from a VLOOKUP from the M1 data tab, which I will get into in just a moment. And here's the market value. My cost basis also pulled with a VLOOKUP from my M1 data tab. And here's my gain or loss in each position, and my percent gain or loss. You can see these 3 in a row are doing quite well for me. Dividend per share, and here's the yield. Anything above, I think 5%, I've color coded that with green. And then the yield on cost, You can see that, and this is the date that the dividend is going to pay me. We're going to scroll down here real quick. We're going to go to October. We'll take a look at what I've received so far in October. We can see in October I've received already $92.82, and my heavy hitters haven't really come in yet, so there's going to be a lot more coming in. And here's the total dividends for each position. You can see like a SCHD, almost $3,000 there. I also tracked the last increase, and the reason I hold most of these positions is they increase their dividend year over year. Home Depot, a prime example, last time they increased their dividend was by 10%. I also put the month in which they're likely to announce that. Anything with a VAR means they have a variable dividend or they haven't announced an annual dividend. And you can see some of these don't do that, like Nvidia. I give Nvidia a pass because you can see what my gain or loss is. This is more of a growth stock, definitely not a high dividend payer. You can see the last time it paid me was a whole 16 cents, but I include them in here because their growth potential. So I'll show you what this sheet really shows, which is the monthly cash flow average. Also shows the quarterly as well as annual. This portfolio is paying me on average $851.15, and the quarterly average is at $25.53, and then the annual is at $10,213.80. And what I did was I actually, on the first take of this video, I already imported the new amount, and I'll go here and I'll show you. So I was at $850.16, and when I imported the data, the new data, I'm at $851.15, and that was because of the Leggett & Platt, O'Reilly, Medtronic, and a $100 deposit. So it raised my monthly income by 99 cents. And I can't undo that paste. What I did was I went into my holdings tab, and I grabbed everything starting with name, and I'll do it. It won't change anything because it's going to be the same data. I couldn't undo it, so otherwise I would show you it live. And I go over to my M1 data tab, and I just paste special it in there. I'll still do it, but it's not going to change anything because I already did the paste. So you can see there. So that shows the results of depositing the $100 as well as those dividend drips. And we'll take a look at BST. That's where most of my money went. The last time it paid me a dividend was $384.78. It's not going to pay the $397.24 because we're past the ex-dividend date. So at the end of November, it's going to pay at least this. That's if I don't buy any more shares, almost up to the $400 mark. And we'll see if I can find, we'll do a quick find. We'll find Leggett & Platt here real quick. So Leggett & Platt, it paid the $19.77, and by reinvesting those dividends, it's going to pay next time $20.13. Then O'Reilly, I took the Agree Realty funds, and that's the major reason why this dividend is going to be up to $11.56. And then we can see Medtronic. It's going to pay $5.30 instead of $5.25. So you can see when you roll those dividends back in, these dividends just increase. They keep going up. That's of course if there isn't a dividend cut. And just to explain the color key on this, we're in October. We're in the first month of Q4. So that's in the light greens, and then November is the second, and December is the dark greens. So you can see here's what remains to pay me these dividends coming up here. And then here's the market value, here's the cost basis, here's my gain or loss. Here's the yield percentage if I bought on average of the whole portfolio. Here's the yield on my cost, which it's inverted because the shares have been going down, but I've been getting dividends that have been kind of keeping this portfolio afloat mostly. You can see here's the quarterly total, and then I have to have an array here with BST and O, since they're monthly pairs, since they kind of move around. Right now they're in this grouping, but if I sort them into November, they're going to move around, and so what I have to do is I have to add them, BST and O, I have to add this amount into the quarterly 2 more times, because if I just add it in this column, they're only counted once, and that doesn't give the full picture of how many dividends they're going to pay. So that's what this little array here is to track BST and O. It's pretty much just, it's doing a VLOOKUP and pulling their values and then adding them into the quarterly here. And the next thing I'll show here is my Dividend Tracker tab. And I've been tracking this portfolio since January 2021. You can see the portfolio value has been going up. In some months, though, it has gone down. We can see here I was up to 214,000 in July. That was kind of at the top of our market, and we've gone down. I'm still about $10,000 lower than where I closed in July. And we can see what this tracks is portfolio value, the dividends paid, the quarterly amount I've been paid, the quarter-on-quarter increase, and the dollar amount increase over the quarters. My annual dividends, you can see in my first year of doing this, I didn't even make 1,000. In the second year, I made almost 3,000, and we are in the third year of this, and we'll do a quick count up from January till now, and we're at $7,403.49 so far. Total dividends paid here. We can see the average monthly dividend, how it goes up. There's a couple times it went down. This was because of JEPI announced. I had them in my portfolio. I have since taken them out, and they kept on reducing their dividend constantly, and that was one of the months where they did that, and it resulted in a lower monthly dividend for me. And same with SCHD. If you own SCHD, just beware that in the first quarter it pays the lowest dividend of the year, and I don't expect any different from March 2024. I will see a decrease there as well, but I'm expecting a large increase in December for SCHD. So we can see also the month-over-month gain with my average monthly dividend, and I also track the annual dividend. We're over $10,000. That's if I don't buy any more shares, I don't get any more dividend increases or anything like that. That is my annual income. And just over the month of October so far, I've raised my monthly income by $7.93. I've raised my annual income by $95.16. And you can see here's the deposits, $300. You can see here where I deposit a lot of money here. I had equity in a home I no longer own, and I wanted to put that to work for me. And I started doing $10,000 a week and in those purchases, and to distribute that money. And that's what that is there. You can see here I put the $100 in there. We're up to $300 for the month of October, and that's what that sheet shows. And I also track my net worth as well. I have a Vanguard account, and you can see what I'm invested in. Most of my net worth is wrapped up in boring ETFs like VTI. There's a big amount there. See what else? Like a VOO, VTSAX. I also own that outside of my Vanguard account as well. You can see VXUS, have a little bit of international exposure. Here's my 401k, primarily VTSAX. I also have an M1 IRA as well. You can see it's VOO, VTI, and SCHD with some BST in there as well. holding a very large cash position right now because I'm building a home, and I'm going to put a very large down payment on that home to keep my mortgage payments in check. You can see here my net worth. I'm at 1.35 million right now, and I was over 1.4 not too long ago, probably back in July. It was well over 1.4, but it's retreated back since. We can see that I also track the total dividends that have paid by month. You can see I had over $5,700 in dividends in September. That's including my dividend portfolio, which I was just showing you, as well as my IRA, 401k, as well as even a savings account as well. You can see my savings account is really dumping some good amount of cash as well. So that's what I pretty much wanted to show you, is what I bought with the $100 this week. And let me know in the comments below what you are buying this week. I hope everyone has a great week, and everyone take care.